All right, so I have a big box that I cut in some larger pieces. And I'm going to cut this one to use for the mycelium. I'm going to layer it and put it in a Ziploc. So I want, some people use gallon bags. I'm going to do it on quarts because I want to separate it. Because, you know, I don't like to keep all my eggs in one basket. So I'd rather have it in smaller Ziplocs in case one gets contaminated. I don't lose the whole gallon bag. Quart size. So we want about, make them a bit shorter, smaller, because I'm going to be stacking them, so I need some space for them to fit in here. So let's say about a square about this size. And I can use this as my template to keep going. Boiling some water over there. I got a pretty large pan here. It's about yay deep. And I've got some squares, roughly squares, that we're going to pour hot water on, which you will see in a little bit when my water boils. Perfect. So water's boiling. We got this ready to go. The other ones are still cooling down. Take this, dump it in here, trying not to make a mess, which is probably not going to work out because I always make a mess. And try to fill it up as much as I can without spilling it. I may need more water. That should be enough. Squish them in there to make sure they keep sucking up the water. Again, this is not supposed to be sterile. So don't fret. The other thing we can do is flip them over. Not that easy with boiling water on here. All right, so more boiling water. Look how much it's soaked in. So these are even a bit dry at the top. So I'm going to soak these again. Let them drink in the water. Look at that. And I'm going to flip these around again. Like pancakes. Look at that. So I don't have a lot of mushrooms, so I'm going to use also some stems to put in a small Ziploc with cardboard and see if they grow. I'm sure they will, but I want to test out the difference between just using stems and using the grain spawn. Because man, if this stem thing works, you buy one grow kit or grain spawn, and then with the stems, you just keep growing, using the stems, growing, using the stems. I don't know if they'll get senescent and just stop growing, but if it's stems, they should just grow. So this is going to be a cool experiment. And now for the next experiment. Growing mycelium on cardboard. Now I just realized that I used up all my stems. So I'm going to have to do this mostly with the grain spawn. All right, so here's the idea. You take the corrugated part and you sandwich them opposite. See, this one's going that way, this one's going this way, vertical, horizontal, and then because that way you get air to flow through. So let's start. Get this a bit wet. So we do this. Just get some on here. Get a bit smaller so it's not that lumpy. Sandwich. Got one of my quartz Ziplocs. Hopefully it'll fit. This part, we'll see how this goes so I don't make a mess and drop everything everywhere. Especially with a camera in the way. I'm gonna make this one with only one layer. After a few days, I'm gonna open it to let some fresh air in, but it doesn't need a lot. Let's try to fit 2 layers in this one. Let me try this one. Put this in the back. This is probably overkill, but I got so much. Remember to cross the flutes, whatever you may call them. I'm gonna do another one. This one like that. Doesn't have to look pretty. This one's a bit bigger. All right, let's get this sandwich in here. I think it helps if I bend it when I stick it in there. Oh, I hope it fits. All right. I'm gonna get some caps in here now. See if one is enough. Yeah, one should be enough. I'm gonna be sure to label this one so that I know which one has the cap or tissue and which one. So all the other ones are gonna have the grain spawn. Cut this tiny without getting any of my finger tissue in there. Okay. It's not a lot, but we don't need a lot. Probably need even less than this. Okay. So that one's horizontal, this one's going to be vertical. Another Ziploc. Like I said, I've seen people do this with gallon Ziplocs, but I'd rather keep them separate. In case one gets contaminated, I don't lose the whole gallon Ziploc. Come on. Get in there, buddy. There we go. I'm gonna call it stems, even though it's really like more like caps.